Surely,
Trasacco Estates, home to Accra's most beautiful and luxurious homes, presents its newest addition, Trasacco Springs, a premium master planned community of service plots surrounded by an exhaustive list of amenities. The gated community of Tema to Accra Motorway presents you the finest opportunity to own a land that suits your preferred size, budget, and payment terms. Trasacco Springs is open to you for development. Our on-site sales executives are ready. Call on 055 659 2658.
Hello? Okay, why? My wife comes and I send a message you. Hello? What's happened?
It's a chunk who's will be a quiet say what? I dare say,
My side friend, I'm so near you. No, I'm not testing messages here. And the office also, I'm trying to tell you, man. She says, I
mean, so we a guy manu, and may young who could look cry. And also wants a family drilling company limited for Kana.
What's it then? Family Dwelling Company Limited.
Here to borehole, biofuel, biogas, swimming pool, plumbing works in Nassau, ye be, Frey 0240 333 111 and NASA 0244 144 822.
Miampa and you want to do me see? Me want to will be BA. Family dwelling now. Family dwelling.
What fashion yana shit?
Me out
A lovely good afternoon to you and welcome to Pan African Television news here on Pan African TV. Anchoring is me, Ivy Abnadide Nakite. We are live across 46 African countries and some part of Europe. We're live on Facebook at the moment at Pan African Television. Are coming up in the next 1 hour. Sanitation Minister halts activities of encroachers, pledges to protect Wager Dam buffer zone. We have details coming up shortly. Also coming up, NPP polling station election party extends deadline for application. Also, traders at Kwasia Jaso lament low patronage, attribute situation to economic hardship and fuel hikes. Do stay for the details of these stories and many more, including stories in the world of business, international sports and entertainment. Don't go anywhere. A big thanks to you for choosing to stay with us. You are watching Pan African Television news here on Pan African Television, 48 Swanika Street, Berlin, Imperial Ghana, with me, Ivy Abnadide Nakite. The news in detail. The Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, Cecilia Abnadapa, has stopped the activities of encroachers around the buffer zone of the Wager Dam in the Wager Municipal Assembly of the Greater Accra region. Now, this took place during her tour tour 2V in Sanwem and water treatment plants to ascertain the challenges with these plants during this dry season and recent encroachment of lands by some individuals. My colleague George Yosenvine was part of it all and has filed the following report.
So looking at me now, right from my foot upwards, you see that I'm being covered with a full of dust. The question one will be asking is that, George, where are you? Here is the water plant station of the Ghana Water Company at Beja, where the sanitation minister has come to inspect the ongoing project over here. But to our surprise, here we are, is a group of some individuals who are dredging from the reserved area of the Ghana Water Company, and the sanitation minister just stopped the operation, all in the name that this place has been a reserve area and has been located or demarcated to be a security zone. So they don't have any right to come and dredge from this area. And the process that, when they do that, this sand that they rain from here, when it rains, will automatically wash all the sand back to the river, which is actually going to deprive some 1.5 million Ghanaians of potable water. It is for that reason she is using that measures to stop the operation.
We are Ghanaian. Unumunsuo. Utehin. Utashama. Uyansuo no. It won't pass our mom. You use with the mom so uyansuo no more. Uki no magic. My mistake is no marameho. No make me send to ordinate Yabesiha illegally. Yes, man. Of a tractor and Safabra. Cow. Essentially, we had reports that there was illegal sand winning here, which ultimately can affect or will affect the integrity of the water treatment plant. And lo and behold, when we came, it's not only sand winning, but stone gathering, and we saw an excavator on the site digging in to fill tracks. That we did on the spot investigations. And we were being told that the cost of one truck of sand and stone is 180 and 200 being collected by these two young men that we saw. So what happened was that without the excavator, the trucks cannot be filled. So we collected the keys of the escalator and asked the driver to talk to the boss to come and meet with us.
In an interaction with the media, Managing Director of Ghana Water Company Limited, Clifford Bremer, said the recent cost of water treatment was outrageous and a source of worry to his firm.
We have to send additional dollars, which is not stable as far as our city is concerned, to go and buy the excess, which I wouldn't have gone if activities there were controlled. And so what we want you to tell Ghanaians is that treatment of our water starts from the catchment. And so when they minimize pollution, they will minimize the chemicals that we use. And for that matter, the cost could be low. Mining is not only to take away the minerals. Sand winning is mining. So they will put all together and treat them. If you go to Tamale, the problem we have with the quality of the water is the sand winning. And so we put all together and say that mining is causing trouble for Ghana Water Company's operations.
From Rajagbawi, for Pan-African Television, George Yosenvine.
Away from that, the ruling New Patriotic Party has extended the deadline for eligible members of the party to submit themselves for election as polling station executives. This comes after some party faithful complained that they were denied access to obtain application forms in the ongoing exercise across the country.
Addressing the media at a press conference, National Chairman of the party, Freddie Blay, said the decision was arrived at by the national leadership of the party, having taken cognizance of the complaints Responding to questions earlier in a release by the party's General Secretary, John Boedu, on vetting date for prospective aspirants, which was supposed to start on Tuesday, February 2nd, and end on Thursday, February 24th, 2022, he said they were monitoring happenings in the party and preparing adequately to ensure a smooth process in the election.
We've invited you to talk to you pertaining to some issues over our party operation towards both polling stations, elections, area, the coordinators, and then preparing towards the constituency, and of course which will lead to both the regional and then the national executives election. Subsequently, or ultimately, it will lead to the primaries towards our presidential elections as well. But why we've called you here, ladies and gentlemen, is that first and foremost, the process of our elections of polling station executive commenced from Saturday, February 19th, 2022, with opening of nominations and closing on Monday, February 21st, 2022. Per an earlier release by the General Secretary, vetting of prospective aspirants will be from Tuesday, February 22, 2022, and ends on Thursday, February 24th, 2022. Subsequently to this will be the conduct of the polling station elections from Friday, February 25th, 2022, and end on Saturday, March 5th, 2022. The party has been monitoring the process keenly since it started. Notwithstanding all the adequate preparations to ensure a smooth process in these elections, there have been reports of pockets of incidents happening in some of the constituencies. A few are Kede constituency, Menshia North, Bosmase, Bosome Frehun, Ningo Prampram, among others. There are also video disturbances being circulated on social media platforms as a result of reported instances where party people have been denied access to buying of the polling station application forms. With immediate effect, the party is also dispatching officers to reported areas of disturbances for fact-finding and investigations, and where necessary, disciplinary sanctions will be applied. Further to this, it is also reported that some leading personalities have procured application forms for aspiring polling station executives. The party wished to advise that any such matters relating to financial support in this process must be channeled through the National Party Secretariat for uniformity, fairness, and accountability.
He also assured all eligible members that the party will take steps to ensure that application forms are made available to them.
The party wishes to emphasize that it has made available adequate nomination forms for the polling stations' electoral area election committees, which are mandated committees for the conduct of the polling station electoral areas elections in the 38,622 polling stations across the country. The national leadership of the party is per this press conference directing all polling stations, electoral area, electoral committees to make available the application forms to all eligible party members who wish to partake in the polling station elections. It is also assuring all eligible members that the party will take steps to ensure that application forms are made available to them.
Away from that, Member of Parliament for Wawa constituency Peter Lanchini Tobu has backed calls for a systematic review of the 1992 Constitution, Criminal Offence Act 207 and 208 enshrined in the Constitution. According to him, the model which allows the judiciary or other persons to abuse the media is exceedingly worrying.
In 1960, with a lot of amendments to the point that in 2007 we changed it to the Criminal Offences Act. If you look at the Criminal Offences Act, 207 and 208, that are so popular in these arrests of recent, they were there since 1960. President Nkrumah brought that for a purpose. And when President Kufuor decided to repeal the criminal libel law, you know, in a state, we have a set of laws. And these set of laws come together and we call it the legal system. So if you repeal a particular law, right, or you amend a particular law, you disturb the balance. And you ought to have tried as much as possible to rebalance it again. The set of laws that come together to be called the legal system, any change that happens in there is simple mathematics. That if there is a little change in there, it disturbs the balance and the general objective of the system will be affected. So when we took away criminal libel law, what was the purpose? If that purpose was to ensure that journalists will have freedom of speech as established and guaranteed by the Constitution, then we should have gone further to look at 207 and 208 in the Criminal Offences Act. We didn't do that. So these laws are still there. So it's the choice that anybody can abuse the system. Because you don't tell the IGP that don't enforce the law. And if the law is bad, it's not the duty of the IGP. The IGP is there, you pass your laws, and his job is to enforce the laws. If any government decides to take advantage of existing laws to abuse the system, you don't blame the police. Why am I saying this? If you look at what is in the law, it is the Attorney General who has the responsibility to take people to court. But when we have a police with the primary responsibility of preventing crime, right, detecting crime and investigating crime, we also have the police being pushed in to do the Attorney General's job by prosecuting crime, which is very bad. Because you are the one who goes to prevent the crime. If it doesn't get prevented, you detect, investigate, okay? And you are the same people who carry the same people to court. Where are the checks and balances? And that is why, for me, I think that it is time for us to look at it critically. For the Attorney General to be shown to the Ghanaian people that this is your job. You are the one prosecuting the people, not the police. If the police go to effect an arrest, the AG can pick a phone, the state attorney can pick a phone, whether it's in the region or the district, and call the police and say, yes, this is an offense, but I am not interested, because that is a government legal advisor. Yeah. And the moment the AG says, I am not interested, the police are incapacitated. And sometimes, you see, enforcing law is to maintain law and order. So if enforcing a particular law can rather cause panic, fear, and disunity in the country, it is the duty of the Attorney General to look at it again. And if government brings an amendment bill to Parliament, Parliament will look at it.
He further urged the media to act responsible and discharge their duties without fear or intimidation.
What is the National Media Commission doing? One thing all of us need to know, Ghana, I can tell you as a state, is divided into 5 components. 1 is the executive, 2 is the legislature, 3 the judiciary, number 4 is the media, and the last one is the people. In fact, the media stands in between the people and the other 4 arms, the other 3 arms of the state. So if the media, a huge organ, can stand and watch the executive belittle them, can stand and watch the executive manipulate them, you have sold yourself out. You should understand that you are a huge organ of state, and you should play your role. Be responsible as much as we can, but don't allow intimidation from the executive, don't allow intimidation from the legislature, and neither should you allow intimidation from the judiciary. You are an independent organ that must be respected, and the people are looking up to you.
George Yosin Vinay for Pan African Television.
This is Pan African Television News here on Pan African TV. We go for a quick break. When we're back, the news continue.
The Socialist Movement of Ghana, SMG, invites all progressive and revolutionary forces to the observance of Ghana's Day of Shame on Thursday, February 24th, 2022. 56 years has passed since the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA of the USA, and its local collaborators launched a futile attack on the African Revolution. This Day of Shame will be marked with a public forum on the theme 56 years after the overthrow of Nkrumah, the state of the Ghanaian economy. The event will be chaired by Comrade Tretri Opoku, convener of the Socialist Movement of Ghana. The speakers will be Professor Jane Nana Opoku Ajiman, first female vice-chancellor of a public university in Ghana and vice presidential candidate of the NDC in the 2020 elections, and Comrade Kwesi Pratt Jr., General Secretary of the Socialist Movement of Ghana. The event starts at 5 p.m. prompt at the new headquarters of the Socialist Movement of Ghana, next door to the Noga Hill Hotel on the George Walker Bush Highway. Come and join the struggle to ensure that imperialism never succeeds. This event will be telecasted live on Pan-African Television and streamed on our Facebook and YouTube pages.
Trasacco Estates, home to Accra's most beautiful and luxurious homes, presents its newest addition, Trasacco Springs, a premium master planned community of service plots surrounded by an exhaustive list of amenities. The gated community of Tema to Accra Motorway presents you the finest opportunity to own a land that suits your preferred size, budget, and payment terms. Trasacco Springs is open to you for development. Our on-site sales executives are ready. Call on 055 659 2658.
African Center for Capacity Building, AFCAP, organizes the following executive and advanced certificate programs like Executive Certificate in Project Management, Executive Certificate in Human Resource Management, Executive Certificate in Real Estate and Property Management, Executive Certificate in Data and Records Keeping, Executive Certificate in Monitoring and Evaluation, Executive Certificate in Logistics and Transport Management, Executive Certificate in CCTV Monitoring and Installation. AFCAP, where capacity building is our priority. For registration and enquiries, please call 0244 405047, 0242 135523. We have our branches in Accra, Tamale, Kumasi, and Wa. Saturdays and weekdays sessions are available. Admission is still in progress. Enroll now. Join the African professionals. AFCAP, where capacity building is our priority.
Hello? Okay, why?
We are back. Thanks for choosing to stay with us. This is Pan-African Television News. Now let's do some more local stories. Traders at the Nungwa market have expressed worry about what is described as growing level of insecurity and poor sanitation in the market.
Nungwa, a coastal town in the Krowa municipality of the Greater Accra region, is home to a flourishing market which serves the community and its environs. The Nungwa market is a major one. Time stop for goods and services is, however, grappling with insecurity and poor sanitation. According to the traders, the state of insecurity and worsening sanitation conditions are affecting trading activities.
First, Yanjiska, me watch a pa. Me now cry 30 just let me them. Now Yanjiska. Internet highest. Say Yanjiska, a higher fine. After drivers and some more idea. First in Sotokwa, in Sota, Gravanco. She said in Sotokwa, only for so, only the ball animal. But here, how back will say a hand foot red go on, and yes, no. In Sotoswa, a time say, to say, Vava. This is cost of Madame. But ball and pad on money and see her. They be a ball and nancy. But in Soto, send a high one. And marketing the near happy. Let us say, Mesa, yes, it's ready for her. They be a button cry. No force a tree force, I before I done force a crowd of 4. I want to do 20. Nobody say bola, near the ball and a man. Yet the man or do down a chair, or they say, we start now. They sent what you mention, or me or do my omu ya mudume ya pamcho oma ochimesino omu ya mudume ya biba be fine bola no any problem ni anya na ese ya no no mu ni sisi za man first time no e pacho ya ma omu twaso maye.
The market queen, Hanalaye, bemoaned how the state of insecurity has discouraged them from doing brisk businesses.
Kaka be a market na challenges ayo. Na ube catch up in phone ya kuma pada so musu yenye elu chese e kwan dida market no boss ntema akonfo famba do yakope watchman ba kwan boss obi an over this side obi so afa ha no be complaining about watchman nation and since some by 5 months in there ko no nkoso nso ni omu ya ni say boys no mo no wi ni be kwa ko ji ball a wokrom ya ma o ska no mu dia be sisi dwanu ma amaye bad ha yesisi a enye mo ko ji ska so mo di be kwa ma ji traska nto be di ska no mu dia be si amaye na watchman so ya kuta wadwuma ya miensa eswa ebi ano wa another lane obi afa ho dia be si ntama ejadi for ma no mu di dwane chese watchman wo ho na ye so na me tso mu se watchman wo mo mfama ti se me watchman na mjadi slayer o fa me si ho obe kwa ko si di adale e san so share kakra obe share kakra no wa ko share sa no mu ye o mu trafa ko market association ye wo Greater Accra no o se market we nya government dia e ye no amandia enti nuno bobu wo mo siche e mo so ni sa wo marketing enti ni pin for wo officer ye gi ground rent di ma omo enti omo ni MC MPs na ye wo board another platform they can question be community asem de ye beji atumu so ni ye no na ye problem
be bana ball and butter on the cost ye be san juska unya obi obefa eno de ha ya nkasa ana security no ye say security wa habat ye timi hu de enti a security wa ha na ball no so e twa ye ho ehye ye problem kase ane ball no eno pe ne ha me de minim bebi aka ho because sempanyufo na akasa ne o maka na eno ana maka no enti ne ha me ani eno ano no
aba watchman for no omu na so ye nia na etuaka enti omu na omuntimi enfa enipa bebre ma omu hwe dwane nae na ade eku ensuru no kura menka so kaminga sada ade eku no kura na megasa ne se bala na wa ya no eti e plan e prapa ni no nyina adua na kakra ebeje wo na ma mton a se nye bola eso adua na kakra wo bedie ni na ma no be prapa ni nyina now they are cobola. I did bet you over banner, so many free few, so many free you, over banner near Lady Bola to create a pioneer zero. Now, what's the cobola and so crying and a power by one tongue? Who could have five since you cry one day? I'm not saying I had the free fear, but near charge you than one market today, and young papa pantias, Slam. No more slow for no way and penny for now. Almost diamond, no one to know why, and they to me any year, Pamacho.
A visibly worried trader Boache called on the Krowa Municipal Assembly to find lasting solution to bring sanity at the market.
Because we marketing, they can say about bon especially MC. This is a more be a to be on too. Na we are saying we don't say quite. Until they can say, I'm seeing no more. Say baby, and can you be uncle Bruno? We to the work because I Jody Biakasia. I'm not for fresh summer. Kaswa, Niaba, Eris, no Baby Joy. Until saying, can you bar a Babuama, and your mother Sabasa Koswani? It's a bit. It was a marketing. They can say, Abana Bonhomodin. Then so, since you ta, a young lady, 4 man or one, or one feet, but we did go on which room. We have road mono at the chair near dear, the higher bazaar. I'm a man from Fibber Betadi and one young walk around and say, when you be Papa being now, never tidy a class say. Until the slab by no say, oh, she. Na a corner if you abandon marketing. Omohe insisi kwana ma edwodi foro netima boa ma edwodi enya konya bedi aye kama.
Now, some traders at the Kwame Nkrumah interchange have disclosed that sanitation in the locality has improved after the Operation Clean Your Frontage campaign was introduced. Now, according to them, the exercise has also affected business activities in the area.
The Operation Clean Your Frontage exercise, which commenced on February 1, 2022, was conducted to ensure that individuals and businesses tidy their immediate surroundings during the exercise. The Greater Accra Regional Minister, Henry Kote, visited the Kwame Nkrumah Circle with a task force to get traders who sell at unauthorized locations, such as the pavements, to relocate. A visit to the area by Pan-African News Team 6 days after the exercise has revealed that the directive is being strictly adhered to. Meanwhile, some traders have stated that even though the exercise has improved sanitation and vehicular movement, trading activity in the area has been hugely affected.
First, Ushia de kwa densho na sana wakofa for wakosha oba. By sesia ufa nimpani na yapomu mu wedonu mo by ukwa. Yantade te se first by nimpani fi kwa na kwan ni ma ye free. Wona ma hu mpe bia, wonam straight woko. By sese nimpani kwa ye ni yantohwe. Ubechia bia sa yatade by ye yi nimpani fi kwan ni na ye neat fine. Nti nimpani a mo apam na umom ye abon fine. By say and then a problem.
You know, my dear, I'm Ghana high cream. By a farm baby, so I high near Tadino. Come on, walk on. No more tardy, my by the sea, no more code in Echo inside. No, it's also a dear crown of a brand saniato. By my house, what's it? I'm a hatty pa, I'm a hatty. By as I high moon, as I high. Oh, I had na AM for try to take it in. See, I am more plapla. Am I? Can't move my any part of your baby. First, no corner more, nobody no happen. Now, no more cry, as you see, I know where no. Am I in your baby farmer and hot toy? And hot toy into my idea. That's I say, I dear Banny and I can. So I say you move and I'm a quarter inside one. And depending on what on the and so I said, yeah, you're 2 depending on what I say. I want to mention,
anything e bi mo etifie e bi mo so ton de o ja se ave so mo ye criminal mo ye no asaka ye month na you say ka month bi aso a ye general criminal no ene me tuma boy na say o so utu obi na still enwura da so gu e okrom dia ase won for so be won so the asaka ba no say month na the body buy say month bi first week no I say the whole Ghana ye just criminal no na mo be boy since say go to obi say why have fiance na still no na e fina so ye oh na fiance no ya bi school afọ ni go ho no na mo hwe mo ma no mo ma eno mo bibia I say ga ba no hwe akra say okay bia wote no ye ho need me ntu what I say eno mo be boa na eno mo me say de obi be go to obi na de ho no the fie esa na odi yaw bo no se bi wo say abam to kra na me no se to aba no what I say de say aba no hwe say ye na eto no ma kwa ho no bisa no e bia wo to na bia so we de hu se ho ye need eno be boa.
They are therefore calling on authorities to create enough spaces for them to enable them ply their trade.
Meanwhile, some Ghanaians have expressed worry over the introduction and the possible passage of the 1.75% electronic transactions levy bill, e-levy, a mechanism of revenue generated captured in the 2022 fiscal policy statement presented by the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta in Parliament on November 17, 2021. According to them, the introduction of the tax will exacerbate the already existing plight of the ordinary Ghanaian.
Accordance with Article 179 and Section 21, Clause 3 of the Public Financial Management Act 2016, Act 921 of the 1992 Constitution, the Minister of Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, on behalf of the President, presented the 2022 Budget Statement and Economic Policy of Government to Parliament. During the presentation of the budget, the minister announced new taxes and some other interventions to meet the domestic revenue target. Key amongst them was the introduction of a 1.75% electronic transaction levy, which has since been a topic for discussion. Now, the past few months has been characterized with a lot of higgledy-piggledies in Parliament following the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta's introduction of a 1.75% electronic transaction levy during the presentation of the 2022 fiscal policy statements in Parliament. Now, this has got a lot of tongues wagging, especially the minority in Parliament, who believe that the 1.75% e-levy will not reduce the country's dependence on debt, as purported by the Akufo-Addo-led administration, but rather worsen or exacerbate the plight of the ordinary Ghanaian. Some Ghanaians have also shared similar sentiments.
Seriously against the introduction of the e-levy. The truth is very simple. We all know that the current state of the economy is not that stable. The citizens are having serious challenges as far as their financial status is concerned. There are a lot of taxes that have been introduced this year alone. We all know how the petroleum hikes have been more or less rampant in the system. And then the transactions that we do through our mobile money too is also taxed. Seriously, it will put a burden on us.
Didn't you say a woman is a maybe Chinese car might be a mammy work grassy. Let me maybe Chinese car, maybe betria. Oh, now mammy on your human or no, on also a baby to me if he's a ASC. ASC professor, Symmetry or Hadia, who has a mammy work class was better betria because I blew out one day. A human or your home. Say, I don't make a kind of commander. Oh, please can of us as I didn't. A chore. So we from a committee bed above way. Me too. One trouble. You live in honorable boy. My young man widen wood to pun. Ghana yabo busia and widen. What ya bread? See, I got a for young Casacasano, young ye muje, young found share a man widen on 2 pun. Damn them here.
Up next is business. Let's do business. Some traders at Kwasi Edwaso at the Makala market in Okar have cried foul over the low patronage. Now, according to them, the exceedingly worrying situation can be attributed to fuel price hikes and economic hardship.
It's only about I would teach in the Unia.
It's when first I'm fun the same.
But to go there for 1 minute, it's 1.8. This is in this is no more farmers, only by all the friends. Money but it's a money my desire. I'm not sure of the film, and man,
Yes.
Pineapple is a binio. No boy, once a man a bois, no business in a binio. Once a swimming top. A woman, a boy trims the same name, a quack from a briar. No customer and a gem being can and communion. No one may be bedroots or crown at the bro. But this is a city and soon talk. Season your chum. They say be a boarding. No one sues us as a talk. Be a baby fruit and be a baby. Se city she knew, since she didn't turn into Tamana boarding kakra.
Pineapple fruit,
oh, say where am I born a 10 city. Make what talk about queer 2 city 50 pesos. Next me turn 4 10 cities. Me so me ba my born 3 10 cities. To menya 1 1. No one maybe bedroom work 3 4 5 cities. At your mommy. So what you say. And maybe bedroom. I am for bottle where you can. Where I dear can. Nyadoni a son bottle. No more kutu pineapple where mudia can. Where I son bottle. Ya can. Media aban media near meeting your can say Aditono. Said the Aditono, maybe a chum city and Yansa say Yansa. Say so be a Juma. Fascinate John and Nosso. Say baby a sugar. Would do a be a few animal stock while I stole winning. And to say the Aya Panano, young Yansa just saying Yapono, what a chat. See, I do so.
For dear no personal. Send a normal tone and I'm seeing you rap with you, send a tone.
We need a fear dintino. The season or maybe we're about for 4. You're quite used to Musse, dear, and a boarding.
You have one the same
5 city.
5 city. If I don't find a bottle on one phone, I said,
Darby.
And the bottle is your price.
Bottle. I go for a shanny bottle. We must say in the ancient bottle. To any Tony Druso. Oh, and no benny between Tigana 30, 40. And living so bad, drone between to be 5 city, 10 city, 20 city.
Also, Kenke sellers at La Paz market have bemoaned the hiking price of maize. Now, according to them, the mess has affected the success and sustainability of their businesses.
Maize is a widely consumed and cultivated staple crop in Ghana. It's also the main ingredient for kenke, a popular staple dish prepared with kondo and usually served with pepper and fried fish. The price of the commodity has soared with huge implications on buying and selling. An exceedingly worrying situation some traders at the La Paz market have decried. Pan-African News caught up with some who described the development as deeply disturbing and a cause for alarm. They also complained bitterly that it has seriously affected their business.
1.8
The prices of maize used to be 180 cedis to 280 cedis, but now we buy it for 500 cedis, though it was about 280 cedis 8 months ago. The leaves for the kenke were 250, but now we buy it at 300 cedis on the market, and you have to subtract all from the maize. The fawutu is 10 cedis. The fish was sold at 180 cedis, but now it is sold at 250 Ghana cedis. The one sold at 290 cedis is now 400 cedis. So because of that, a fish sold at 2 cedis is now 4 cedis. The oil was 150 cedis and 160 cedis, but now it is sold at 300 cedis. A kenke is now sold for 1 cedi 50 pesos, 2 cedis and 3 cedis. My kenke is very nice and huge, so my customers don't complain. I buy my maize at Agbogboloshi, but when I go myself, I get it for 360 cedis. But when I buy it from here, I get it for 500 Ghana cedis.
Sabo like the saying, fair kwa migrano ni fair. Aka sefa. No, no chemo no to. Fio no ana no ye ka work esano. No me wo ye.
I affect your business.
The prices of maize have really affected our business because of the increment. Someone might be hungry and would want to buy some, but because of the prices, they can't afford to buy, which has made the market very slow for us. The maize has become very expensive. It is now sold at 400 cedis and 250 cedis. When I buy it, the price comes down. That is why I sell mine at 2 cedis and 1 cedi 50 pesos. Last year was 250 cedis, but this year it has increased because of the fuel price increment, and the farmers too are complaining that things are hard, so they cannot also reduce the price of the maize.
Let's see, petrol. If you are from some see mama boarding, you are so many mama to me from Jifu. No moon the top idea of boarding. Sana, oh my.
The price of the maize is killing us. We buy it at 600 cedis and a ball of kenke is now 3 cedis. The price of the leaves is now 120 cedis as compared to previously.
That's all. After this short break, we'll bring you the happenings outside Ghana. On Thursday, February 17, the Australian government announced its intent to ban the Palestinian resistance movement Hamas in totality as a terrorist organization. Australian Home Minister Karen Andrews announced the decision, claiming that there's no place in Australia for their hateful ideology.
Hamas's military wing, Izzeldin Al-Qassem Brigade, is already listed as a terrorist organization in Australia. After announcing the ban on Hamas in totality, Australia joins a small set of Western countries, such as the United States, the United Kingdom, the European Union and Israel, who have also done the same earlier. Israel welcomed the Australian move, with Prime Minister Naftali Bennett thanking his Australian counterpart, Scott Morrison. The banning of Hamas by Australia would lead to restrictions on the financial flows to the organization. Anyone found to be a member of Hamas or accused of carrying forward its agenda would be punished with up to 25 years in prison. Hamas, or the Islamic Resistance Movement, was formed during the First Intifada in the late 1980s to fight against the Israeli occupation of Palestine. In the subsequent decades, it gradually emerged as the most powerful Palestinian resistance group. It came out as the largest party in the last elections for the Palestinian Authority in 2006. Hamas controls and administers the Gaza Strip with a population of over 2 million. Israel has imposed a severe land, air and sea blockade of Gaza, turning it into the world's largest open-air prison. Australia, under a right-wing government, is seen to be following the United States and Israel in its foreign policy. Last year, it banned the Lebanese resistance group Hezbollah in totality, despite opposition from a strong Lebanese community at home and from rights groups across the world. Both Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas in Palestine have a strong political presence, and listing them as terrorist organizations can restrict popular political choices. At the time of the announcement of the ban against Hezbollah, several groups had pointed out that such bans amounted to external political interference. Israel has regularly bombed Gaza and is responsible for killing hundreds of Palestinian citizens in the narrow territory. In May last year, Israel bombed Gaza for almost 2 weeks, killing over 250 Palestinians and wounding nearly 2,000. Israel justified the move by saying it was responding to rockets fired by Hamas from the territory. It also led a global campaign to vilify Palestinian resistance movements and has for long lobbied with the United States and United Kingdom, termed them as terrorist organizations. The move to ban Hamas was opposed by Australia's Palestine Advocacy Network, which claimed that this designation will not act as a deterrent against terrorism, but will damage Australia's capacity to play a constructive role towards Middle East peace.
Now let's move straight to sports. Coach of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Dr. Prosper Nate Okum, has been named on a 4-month shortlist for the Coach of the Month award for January. He led the Porcupine Warriors to 4 wins and 1 draw from 5 games in January, with victories over Adriana, Mediama, Ash Gold and Great Olympics.
The run saw them consolidate their lead at the top of the Premier League table. Also on the list is Mediama boss Umar Abdul Rabi, whose side won thrice and lost one of their 6 matches last month. Kasim Ukansi Mingle of Bechem United recorded 2 wins, 3 draws from 5 matches, and Kerala United head coach Bismarck Kobi-Mensah also recorded 3 wins, 2 draws from 5 matches. The 4 coaches secured impressive results throughout last month. The winner to be